Welcome everyone to episode 45 on the teachings of Jewel Ornament of Liberation by Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. We will begin the teachings by doing opening prayers on the yellow book on page 5. May all Mother Sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Shaji jarbe jadang guzan zar durjin jan jan de lo na ro da ma ba ma la ji je gam bo ba pa mo zhe ba jian zhe gong ba ga ju la ma nan je da jian dan nen de ne zhe dam je de la ma la ba la ye ji zo zo la za yan de nyam zo nga la wan den zhe dong jin zhe be ge le zo da zo lo ji zan zhe war zin je lab de so ju lam den zhe war zin je lab de so Lam drova zebra zinja labdo so drova isha zanja var zinja labdo so gangen denje dravan jo ngaba me ba je ba me ba ta me ba wa me ba ro me ba ta de de me do je me drova ni je je den ba zo ba zanja ma nan je tang ba de la jan zar do ren je za ba la ma je je ko song do je sin lan da da ge ju lan ba da ge ten ba da sun je je dong Labo Jandra Brazinja Labdo. Many Dharma brothers and sisters. Today we are on the. You have this book, page number 248, and actually this session is Pat and Bhumi. We often heard about Pat and Bhumis. So Pats and Bhumis. So there are 5 parts. 5 parts. Among 5 parts, I already taught first part. Then today, and the second part. And second part is the part of application. So I already explained some of them. But first we have to understand that Pat and Bhumis. So when we heard about this, we imagine that Pat and somewhere, the Pat and Bhumis are somewhere. But this is a misunderstanding. Pat and Bhumis are in the mind. And then how are they existing? They are not exist separately in our mind because they are not separate from our mind. So they are qualities of our mind. But these qualities are if they are qualities of our mind, then perhaps we think we already reached patterns to Bhumis. Yes, actually, yes. Because our pristine awareness is path is a path and is a bhumi. So all the bhumis and paths are parts of our pristine awareness, quality of our awareness, and our pristine awareness it is also part of the bhumis, like the sun and the sun's rays. However, they remain like sun and sun's rays. But then there are different layers. There are 5 paths and 13 bhumis or levels. Or it's a Sutrayana, we count 11 bhumis or levels. These are step by step we reduce our obscurations, and then there's self-awareness, pristine awareness radiate step by step from in our mind. So then the path of application here says, why is it called the path of application? Here, application refers to connecting with a direct realization of truth. So practitioners who are on the path of application, this practitioner has a wonderful realization and experiences. Again, there are great experiences, but still this practitioner does not realize pristine awareness, but is very close to realize it. As I said, the path of application has 4 branches or 4 aspects. Among them, first is warmth. So which means before we give rise, or before arise, right before the wisdom fire or fire of wisdom, then the wisdom light. Before arise the wisdom light, there is a sign. It's warmth. Like before we make a fire, then there is a warmth. If the 2 woods we can touching and how to say this, the 2 pieces of wood being rubbed together, it creates heat. So that's it. Where there is a very direct realization of truth. So during the surfaces of heat and the peak. So surfaces means period, of heat and the peak. So peak is one aspect of application of the path of application. Peak means the top. There are mundane paths. Among the mundane paths, this is also a mundane path, but it's very higher, like a top. So peak. 5 faculties are employed. Faculty means actually principle or main thing. So for example, faculty means my eyes look at a flower. At that time, if we do not analyze about, or we do not understand about the eyes, then we just think, oh, eyes can see the flower, that's all. But if we go in details, there is eyes consciousness, eyes faculties, and then there are many other very specific things, many conditions. So that's where the main thing is the eyes faculty. Eyes faculty support to eyes consciousness. So eyes faculty is like a glass. It's very clean. Only eyes consciousness remains there. on the eyes faculty. This flash eyes, this retina, what we see, these eyes, we think it's very clean, pure, but in reality, this part is not so pure, not so clear. If compete the eyes faculty, so eyes faculty is very thin, clean, pure. So that's where this is the principle and foundation of our eyes consciousness. Likewise, here it says 5 faculties are employed. Employed means possess, yeah, or having, yeah, endowed or with endowed. These 5 are the first faith. Faith is actually the root of view. Faith is the root of view. As often I said, before we have strong faith towards our guru, towards our yidams, we must apply devotion. Devotion is very, it's devotion, I mean, the body tells us we have a devotion or not. It's goosebumps and so forth, yeah. So devotion is actually, sometimes in the Dharma, explain devotion and faith the same way, but if we go little detail, we explain in detail is slightly different. So devotion is very little easy to give rise from mind, but it's hard to maintain it. Maintenance. So that's where we are going to maintain devotion. Then the devotion become stronger and stronger. It will become faith. So faith means, we start to decide anyhow, whatever happened, whether good happened or bad happened, or it's anyhow, only you are my protector, only you are my refuge, only you are my Buddha, only you are my personal awareness. Before we understand the inner personal awareness, then we are saying this towards a guru, outer guru. So that's where this is a view. You are the Dharmakaya, you are the Vajradhara, you are the Kundazambo, you are the clarity, simplicity, and so forth. So then this faith is combined. If that faith combines with wisdom, it becomes perfect view. If that faith doesn't combine with perfect, the wisdom, sometimes it's possible it becomes blind faith. So anyhow, then this practitioner who reached on the path of application, they have a special faith, then special diligence, then special mindfulness, then special concentration, and then special wisdom. So that's where these 5 faculties are employed. Okay. Then in the sub phases of fearlessness, acceptance, and the highest worldly realization, these become 5 powers. Okay. So here it says in the sub-phases I say period, yeah, sub-phases of fearlessness, acceptance, and the highest worldly realization. So in this case, the second part, the fearlessness is an aspect of path of application. So fearlessness means when who reach on the path of application, the first is hit, second is pick, and then third is what is the fearlessness? Fearlessness, okay, fearlessness. Actually, it says in the Dharma, practitioner who reached on this level of the fearlessness, they are not afraid of lower realms, which means they has no worry to rebirth in the lower realms because they purifies the cause to rebirth in the lower realms. Actually, it says that. And then after this also it's called forbearance. Forbearance means they according to the Sutarayana, they heard emptiness, and they are not fear or afraid about emptiness. They come patient to listen about emptiness. No eyes, no nose, no ears, no head, no body, no form, no color. That they can patience. Patience means not afraid. This Charavikas, practical and practical Buddhas, afraid of them because they think, oh, karma cause is solidly exist. So if there is emptiness, then there is no karma cause and effect. So they are scared or scary. So that's where there's and then another way explain, as I explained last time when I taught this, it's in the sutta tantric practice. At that time, those practitioners can hold bliss during the these yidam union practices and so forth. Yeah. And then these become 5 powers. So 5 powers means first is faculties. The 5 are 5 faculties. So these 5 faculties develop. It's like a flowers. First seed is a very small piece, like a sesame seed. Yeah, and then it's opened, and then a little bit growing, and then there are some kind of flower, but the petals not open yet. But then step by step opened the petals, and then it will become gorgeous. Likewise, these 5 faculties become 5 powers. So 5 powers, which are power of faith, power of diligence, power of mindfulness, power of meditative concentration, and power of wisdom. The third is the path of sin. Okay, so then we finish to talk about the path of application, and then now the third is the path of sin. These follows on from the highest worldly realization surface. It is the combination of tranquility and insight focused on the 4 truths of the noble ones. So this path of sin, when we reach, so we think, oh, path of sin we reach, just suddenly we reached on the path of sin, but we can reach on the path of sin gradually, but sometimes we follow the guru's path instructions, then we can reach there quickly, instantaneously, but still it's gradually. Okay, so that's why here says highest word from these follows on from highest worldly realization surfaces. So highly worldly realization means that this is the aspect of path of application. So path of application has 4 aspects. This is the final or last part. So after why do we call it the highest worldly means in the mundane or world the paths, this is the highest path, excellent path. That's what we call it. After that, then we were able to reach path of seeing. It is the combination of tranquility or shamatha are same. So shamatha meditation is very important. Our mind need two things. One is unshakable. I mean stability. Without stability, if we visualize yidams, we cannot rest on the yidam. We try to visualize the guru, it's so difficult to rest our mind there. So shamatha helps us a lot. Shamatha is like if you are a candlelight, butter lamp or candlelight. If there are winds, then this candlelight cannot remove the darkness. Instead, maybe it will die. It will goes away. So that's why without shamatha, it's very difficult to visualize yidams. So that's where tranquility means shamatha. And then the next is insight. So insight means vipassana. So the combination of shamatha and vipassana is clarity. So candle light or flame, butter flame, there is a butter flame. Butter lamp has two. One stable. This is shamatha part. Another is the clear part, light parts. The light part is like a vipassana. Vipassana is like a light part. It's remove, purifies obscurations. So these two combined together, what happened? Then it is the combination of tranquility and insight focused on the four truths of the noble ones. So then inside this the path of seeing. What is path of seeing? So now it's clear, yeah. Path of seeing means a combination of shamatha and vipassana. So you cannot find shamatha outside, you cannot find vipassana from outside. For example, our the Dharma friends or our guru, they have great shamatha and great vipassana. Yes, they have. We can just understand, but we cannot bring them from them. If we can't bring from them, then there are thousands of Buddhas we already brought from their shamatha and vipassana. So now we don't want to do anything. But still we have to do something. That's where we should meditate on shamatha and we are going to meditate vipassana. Yeah. And then it becomes, if we successfully accomplished these two kinds of meditations, we reach on the path of seeing. Okay, when we reach the path of seeing, what happened is it says the focused on the fourth truth, four truths of noble ones. So generally, truth of suffering, truth of origin or cause of suffering, truth of path, truth of cessation. So we say that, but what do we experience? What do we experience? We experience suffering. And what we do, we cultivate cause of suffering. And what we don't do, we don't follow path, truth of path, which is we conquer, or we are going to overpower, or we are going to purify the 10 non-virtues. We don't do. And what opposite is, then this result, if we don't purify the 10 non-virtues, then there is no 10 virtues. If there is no 10 virtues, then there is no result of 10 virtues. I mean, generally. But great practitioners, you all doing that, yeah. So doing that means you cultivate 10 virtues. So then number one means, the truth of cause. First we say Arya see the truth of suffering. Truth of suffering is two. One is, if we cultivate negative karma, this result is suffering. That is truth. They see. Aryas see. Arya means who practitioner who reach path of sin, they become Arya. And they start to become Arya. And then another part is truth means the truth of suffering. The suffering is emptiness. Suffering is not truly exist. And same like cause of suffering. That is also ultimate truth. They understand. So the first truth, that of suffering, there are aspects of inside knowing is. Now it's talking about more, so I will tell you this. Inside knowing is one, receptivity to knowledge of the nature of suffering. 2. Knowledge of the nature of suffering. 3. Receptivity to subsequent knowledge of the nature of suffering. Number 4. Subsequent knowledge of the nature of suffering. There are 4 such aspects for each of the 4 noble truths. The insight embodies these 16 instants of receptivity and knowledge. So for these 4 multiple, it become 16. Okay, so then this 16 I will so there are 16 knowledge on the 16 moments of knowledge on the path of insight, which means each of the noble truth has 4 realizations. First, these bodhisattvas realizes the nature of the truth of suffering. That's number 1. Second, they can be patient with their suffering because they realize the profound nature of suffering. Third, these bodhisattvas realize the wisdom of the nature of the truth of suffering. Fourth, they possess the patience to realize the wisdom of the nature of the truth of suffering. So then these 4 about the truth of suffering, and then truth of cause of suffering, truth of path, truth of cessation. So total there are 16. Okay. Why are those referred to as the path of sin? So now it's very in details. So because at that stage, authentic insight into the 4 truths of noble ones is gained for the first time. During that stage, a person is endowed with the 7 aspects of enlightenment. Okay. So, why we, as exactly it says, why are those referred to as the path of sin? So, before, how many times we recite Heart Sutara? how many times we talk about emptiness, and how many times we listen. At those times, we are coming to understand the authentic emptiness and ultimate truth. So that's where the path of seeing practitioner or bodhisattva who reach on the path of seeing, then at that time, the first time to realize the authentic or this authentic truth, or the ultimate truth. So that's where path of seeing means what they see, yeah. But there one thing is because of the kindness of our guru, through guru's path instruction, we momentarily, instantaneously, we gain the realization of the clarity, the same experience of a path of seeing. But if we do not maintain through our meditation, then we become like a water. Water in summer, there's no ice, always water. But in the winter, suddenly it becomes frozen. So we have to know that this why, if we have a Buddha nature, why are we become samsaric being? How are we becoming samsaric being? It's same like water. That's where cycle exists. The four seasons change, cycle exist. Yeah. Which one is first? We can't say actually. That means it's the beginning of samsara is same like that. Beginningless of time. We say samsara is a beginningless. When start samsara? It's so difficult. But for the make sense, whenever you arises ignorance from your mind, at that time, one starts to one's samsara. So practitioner who whenever start to see the truth or pristine awareness, at that time one start to begin nirvana. So anyhow, this first part of seeing means like that. So then in this case, this practitioner or bodhisattva is endowed with the 7 aspects of enlightenment. They are right mindfulness, in aspects of enlightenment, 2 right discernment, 3 right diligence, 4 right joy, 5 right mastery, 6 right meditation, and 7 right equanimity and aspects of enlightenment. So these are the the 7 aspects of enlightenment. So the join the path of seeing means that if I later more emphasize, that path of seeing means something we did not see, did not know before, but we see it for the first time with mindfulness. Then this is also we call it says right mindfulness. Okay. Then right means the wisdom, with the wisdom of intrinsic awareness. Then the next is Right discernment. Yeah, right discernment is the let me say the aspects of enlightenment. This realization is very sorry, I'm missed. So red aspect, red discernment, discrimination. So this practitioner knows clearly that what are the self entities and what are their antidotes. Antidotes. Mm. Then number 3, red diligence. Red diligence. Through this, one gains quickly the city of clear seeing. Then next, red joy. One gains the profound realization of one's mind and body are fully of joy. Then number 5, red mastery. Physical non-virtues and mental obscurations are purified and one is always in practice. Then 6, red meditation. Red meditation, union of shamatha and vipassana. Then number 7, red equanimity. In this case, this is the wisdom of non-perception. So these practitioner, the practitioner who reach on the path of seeing, then who possess or endow is that person is endowed. That practitioner is endowed with the 7 aspects of enlightenment. Are that. The 4th is the path of cultivation. Path of cultivation. It is a waterfall of the path of seeing. It has 2 aspects, the mundane path and the super mundane path. So path of cultivation is actually part of meditation. Is same meaning. So this path of meditation is after practitioner who reached on the path of seeing and then possess these 7 aspects of enlightenment, and then this practitioner will gain or reach on the path of meditation or path of cultivation. Okay, then path of cultivation has 2 aspects, mundane and then super mundane path. Okay, so the mundane path of cultivation comprises means made up of. So comprises the first, second, third, and fourth worldly meditative concentration, dhyana, and the 4 formless meditative concentration in the form of the sphere of okay, so first we are going to know these for what did they say, comprises the first and second, the third and the fourth worldly meditative concentration. Yeah, so those who reach reach the first dhyani, don't engage that much in the desire realms, non-virtues. They recognize the form realms is the better than the desire realm. So they're looking focus towards the form realms. These mundane desires, this good, whatever good things, they don't think is good thing. So they are looking up in the form realms. They try to reborn there. Now, Then second dhyani, those who reach the second dhyani, they have a great bliss and joy. They don't have the perception that form Rams is better than the desire Ram. So after they reached on the form Ram, still they have different realizations. The step by step increases their realizations. So at that time, so they don't have they have a great bliss and joy. So in sometimes let us know this, the shamatha practitioners, it's in desire Ram, the human practitioners, they also experience same thing. They do not practice about vipassana, so they only practice shamatha, and they successfully accomplished shamatha. At that time they have also bliss. Bliss. So this bliss is then they curve. They start to curve this bliss. So they don't like to come back from this meditation experience. So even those some practitioners, if we cut the piece of their flesh or fingers on their body, still they experience bliss, kind of this, but cannot totally attain Buddhahood, because it doesn't engage with vipassana. Yeah, but anyhow, this those who reach the second dhyani, they have a great bliss and joy. Bliss on the body, feeling, joy in the mind. Yeah, they don't have the perception that form Ram is better than the desire Ram. At that time, they ceased. First, they have two. Oh, this is not good. That is good. But then they again, the second dhyani, they start to cease or stop this thinking, this perception. So they don't have this. And then third, it doesn't talk different people. Okay, one person who reach step by step, first learning ABCD, and then how to make sentence, and then step like that. So and then those who reach the third dhyani, they don't have a desire towards their great bliss. So they rest in equanimity. So they don't curve. They don't have a desire their towards their bliss. So they rest in equanimity. And then those who reach the fourth dhyani, they don't have a desire towards their joy. So first about the physical bliss, physical, they avoid attachment or desire towards physical bliss. Yeah, and then at that time they are a third dhyani. And then they reach on the fourth dhyani, they also don't attached in the joy, in the mental joy. Sometimes we think we are great practitioners. Yes, actually we are, but it's we compete. These dhyani practitioners, right now, what is our hope? If I have a bliss for little moment, for little while, we are very aspect, and almost all of our amazing priceless marriage we dedicate for the sake of temporary bliss. But still we don't have it. That's where we don't look down. Oh, these form realms and the formless realms are still in samsara, so we cannot judge. Yeah. So they anyhow they rest on the in the equanimity, yeah. And then that next, this is important, you often heard. So these four formless meditative concentration in the form of the spheres of one, limitless space. So limitless space, what is limitless space? Limitless space, this practitioner understand their gross perceptions. Their gross perceptions are gross perceptions. Sorry. Their gross perceptions are gross perceptions, and they don't like them. So they try to focus a very tiny perception, and they understand that this very tiny perception is emptiness, space. Then they rest there for many, not all, many hours. Okay, many lives. Many lives. Many years. Many years they can rest there. They don't like these gross thoughts. They don't like, and they like very subtle or very tiny perception, and then they think that is emptiness, empty space, and then they rest. And then that next is second is limitless consciousness. So these practitioners understand that empty space of first dhyana is actually just limitless consciousness, and then they rest there. So they have no more thing to do, no more things to do, only meditate. Then after this third nothing whatsoever. So these these practitioners examine if anything exists beyond the limitless consciousness, and they found nothing whatsoever and rested that. Yeah. And then fourth, neither cognition nor absence of cognition. These practitioners arise from concentration on nothing whatsoever, and they view this perception is like a disease, and they stop it. They rest on our perception beyond existence and non-existence, but still have a tiny perception. These dhyanis are not states that they are experienced by different practitioners, so they are experienced one after the other. So that's why this Reno four dhyanis and four formless. These are the aspects of path of meditation. So right now we cultivate imprint of this. So that's why, but these are still mundane. These are not the supreme mundane path. These are mundane path. But through this practice, and then we will reach this super mundane path. So that's where these are important. These meditations are important. There are three purposes. Purposes means reasons to cultivating these. Number one, or A, to overwhelm the afflictions that are to be removed at the level of the path of cultivation. So there are different obscurations, gross obscurations, subtle obscurations, very subtle, like obscurations of imprinting. So right now, the gross obscurations interrupt to us. That's where if in my hand, the singer here come in my hand, right now I'm talking to you, blah, 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 like this. In my hand has a single here, I cannot feel this. So, but somebody throw a stone and hit my head, then I feel, oh, then, so that is very gross suffering. Gross suffering. So we experience gross suffering. Through this way, we understand, are we reach on the path of cultivation or not? This is very important. Very important. If this gross situations challenge to us, at that time, we see those our friends or some suffering through this way, we should more generate compassion towards them. And then this who reach on the fourth dhyanis and dhyanas, or these four formalists, they already purified gross sufferings, but they have tiny suffering, very tiny, small. But these are like in the eyes. If my finger here comes to in my eye, I cannot see, I cannot look until comes. I cannot have forbearance, practice forbearance. I have to charge my eyes. Likewise, they experience very tiny, small sufferings, but they are very difficulties. But it's difficult to purify them. So still they have a very subtle the obscurations. But then the overwhelm mean it does not mean it purify completely. It's like if this is perhaps not a good example, but if you have a dog, you are going to sit this dog there, don't bothers to you, but that dog start to stand and come to you, you say stop or sit down, then dog will stay like that. They say these afflictive emotions, obscurations ready to arise, they stopped. So this is the overwhelm is that. Number B, to enable achievement of exceptional qualities such as the four immeasurables. Then they have that four immeasurable, means immeasurable compassion, immeasurable loving kindness. So what is immeasurable loving kindness? Whenever we focus all mother sentient beings, and then may they have a cause of happiness, which is bodhicitta. May they have bodhicitta. That is the immeasurable bodhicitta, and then some like other things. So at that time, your mind becomes boundless space. That means immeasurable. Yeah, we cannot measure it. Then number C, to provide a base for the supermundane path of cultivation. So if we are going to gain the supermundane path of cultivation, first we need we are going to meditate four immeasurables. And then we are going to meditate this shamatha. Actually, these are part of shamatha. These four dhyani, four formulas are parts of shamatha meditation. So we are going to meditate shamatha. And then, of course, vipassana too. So then it says that these meditations are foundation of this supermundane path of cultivation or meditation. The supermundane path of cultivation consists of tranquility and insight, along with their accompanying qualities focused on the two aspects of pristine awareness. Now, of the 16 facets. Facets means side. Yeah, 6 facets of insight. The 2 facets of receptivity and 2 facets of knowledge corresponding to each of the 4 noble truths, gaining during the path of seeing. This I taught in the path of seeing. Yeah, so the numbers are the 8 receptivities are proper to the path of seeing, and the insight gained is all that is needed to complete them. The 8 facets of knowledge, however, require ongoing familiarization, and this is what is being developed through the path of cultivation. So that's let us know that during the path of seeing, it's cultivated or experienced or gained many realizations, and some realizations gained completely, some realizations completely gained, and some realizations gain half realization, half, not completely. Some is very beginning, something like that in the path of seeing, and then during the path of meditation or cultivation, at that time it will very complete. For example, right now we are meditate through efforts, make efforts. We rest on the single pointedly, rest on our object single pointedly for 5 minutes through efforts. If we don't make efforts, then we lost it. But then step is we continually, frequently the practice like that. One time we become familiar. So that's familiarization. So that's where the higher paths, during the higher paths, the first lower path, during the lower paths we cultivate them, and during the higher paths we become familiar on there. The main thing is that, and this is what is being developed through the path of cultivation. It is achieved through continued familiarity with tranquility and insight on the base of the 4 meditative concentrations and the first 3 of the 4 formless meditative attainments. Cultivating the realization of suchness belongs to the aspects of the path knowing as knowledge of phenomena, whereas cultivating the realization of pristine awareness belong to the aspect known as subsequent knowledge. So these are the in the each like of during the 4 meditative concentrations and this 4 formless meditative attainment. At that time, it's a step by step will develop these wisdoms. Actually, here says pristine or it's knowledge. Subsequent knowledge means wisdom. Actually, they are wisdom. This wisdom step by step increase. Okay. As for the final formless meditative concentration, the first and third, second, third is already said that mentioned above here. But then the fourth final formless meditative concentration, the sphere of neither cognition nor absence of cognition remains entirely as a mundane sphere, for its awareness lacks clarity. So actually this the final formless meditative concentration and Madhyamaka view or the Mahamudara view, it's quite similar. So but they are not same. The similar means everything is beyond, everything is beyond exist and non-exist. So they have this experience, but not exist and not non-exist, but then still they have a kind of a dualistic perception on there. That they just not enough skill to rest in natural state of mind. In this case, natural state of mind means ultimate life or ultimate truth. So that's where they say, oh, this is not male, this is not female, but something like that. This is not yes, this is not no, but between there is, and then still they hold something. So they have a kind of this very very tiny and very small these perceptions. But in the Mahamudra, the practice at that time, the only we can experience, almost cannot explain. But how we gain this realization of Mahamudra is the kindness of a guru. Guru is the essence of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Kindness of a guru and kindness of your devotion. So that way Lord Jigten Sungpa said, Guru is Guru is the embodiment of four kayas: Dharmakaya, Sambhokaya, Nirmanakaya, and Sobhavika Kaya. Then he metaphor the snow mountain. It's like a snow mountain. If one does not arise, devotion is like a sun. Then from this snow, the snow mountain, the snow will not melt. If that snow does not melt, then this what's it called, the water which comes from snow is not exist, and then we cannot drink. Yeah, likewise. So the through devotion, our devotion, Guru's path instruction, blessings. First, Guru's blessing is when we heard the special path instructions. It's what is the bliss? It's feeling. First, we can say it's feeling. We have some different feeling, not crazy feeling, not solid feeling, but it makes more kind of flexible, soft. First, we have I, and in the mind has the ignorance created grasping, and we have very kind of solid. And then Guru's bliss comes, enters in our mind, and our devotions arises from mind, and we are become very soft, workable. And then through this way, improve, then we will gain the realization. Yeah. So that's anyhow, in this case, subsequent knowledge means wisdom. They understand, oh, there's a flower. This is a mundane perception. When we see, oh, this flower is beautiful, but it's impermanent. This is a practitioner's perception, impermanent. And then this realization or wisdom increases, oh, this is interdependence. This flower is interdependence. And then this realization increases, it's emptiness. So that's where the one person see look at our object, there are different perceptions, different perceptions. The perceptions increase higher and higher. So this the final form is meditative concentration as still unclear perception. They have unclear perception, very unclear perception. Even they can't see it. Like we breathe very strongly, breathe, exhale and inhale. We understand, but we rest. Almost we can't. Sometimes we can't feel that we are breathing in and out, but still it is. If we do not breathe in and out, then we cannot alive. Yeah. So it's naturally does like that. they have a very tiny perception, but they don't understand. Why are the above called the path of cultivation? So that means the mundane, okay, mundane cultivation. Because in it, the person cultivates familiarity with the realizations gained on the path of sin. During this stage, the meditator is endowed with the eightfold path of noble ones. Right view, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right meditation. So there are 37 branch aspects of enlightenment. So they step by step increase. Yeah. Yeah, we understand what's the red view. Red view is Mahamudra. If you are Mahamudra practitioner, red view is Mahamudra. If you are Zopa Chimbo practitioner, red view is Zopa Chimbo. If you are Madhyamaka practitioner, red view is Madhyamaka. Then in this case, red view is that, okay? And then red thoughts. Red thoughts means who realizes them. Realize red view. That's what we call red realize. Red thought. Red speech. Red speech means they speak without obscurations, the gross obscurations. Now, red action. Their action does not cultivate negative karmas. Since they do same thing, there are one gained great realization eating food there, and one is never heard about the realizations, even and eat food. They both eat food, same action, but big different. One eats food through realization of emptiness. That food is emptiness. Who eats? The eater or that person is emptiness. The plate is emptiness. Time is emptiness. One thing, oh, this is yes, right, no, so forth. So they're different. And then more holds in the samsara. Samsara, if we bend with the very strong ropes or chains on the pillar, one day we can release from there. But we bend by this how to say dualistic perception. It's not easy. Then red livelihood. Livelihood means we still need money, we still need clothes, but we collected them at that time. We don't be illegal like karma. Illegal from karma law. We don't break karma law, but we gain them through the merit powers. Okay, and then red effort. Red effort means all cultivators, even mundane activities, looks like a mundane activities, but they turn the cause of merit, not cause of suffering. Then red mindfulness. Red mindfulness means not only thinking one's benefit for benefiting all others, and then exactly coming through the path instructions, and then red meditation. Red mindfulness and red meditation, what is different? Red mindfulness means we are going to understand. For example, I'm resting here without object. I not utilize or apply any object. Rest in there. This is meditation. I rest there for 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, in 3 times, give rise or just arises thoughts. I acknowledge them. It's mindfulness. Don't block them. Block them. Don't overpower them. Just acknowledge and rest. Just acknowledge rest. So mindfulness means that. Then what were okay. The fifth is the path of complete accomplishment. So this is a path of Buddha actually. These occur subsequent to the demand like meditative observation, and it consists means made up of consists of the knowledge of cessation and that of non-arising. Demand like meditative observation refers to the final stage of elimination on the path of cultivation, and thus is encompassed within the preparatory and uninterrupted stages of the path of cultivation. Uninterrupted. Demand like, what is it? Demand like meditative observation. They are very important to understand because the samadhi, right now we meditate here, there are many obstacles, perhaps from outside, the winds or so forth. Perhaps we are worried something for future. Perhaps this next of us, somebody interrupt us, or perhaps our body, this that hurts, the back and the knees, so forth, and we lost our concentration. So that's where our concentration is the stable or stability or not. But here, meditative concentration like a demand like meditative concentration means demand is the example of strongest, very strong. I'm not talking about expensive part, the strong part. So likewise, even there are some earthquake, the water flood, they never move their concentration from their meditation. So that example is what? Who gained this meditative like demand like meditative concentration? Who gained? When? Where? Where? In Nalinjara, the river next the Bodh Gaya in India. Who? Shakyamuni Buddha. When? 2600, these days more than that, yes, maybe 2800 years, 7 or 100 years ago. And then which interrupts comes to him? Number one, he comes cause of more desires. No matter. He never, even not he, how to say, no problem. He did not have problem. And after harmful activities actions occur to him, no problem. So demand like that's what Shakyamuni Buddha has, we have same. What he has, we have. There's no single different. Our is lower, his is higher. They are not different. But the thing is, he diligently purified all the covers of this his demand like meditative concentration, and we are processed on that. So sooner or later, we will stay together with Shakyamuni Buddha. So that's where we don't want to keep very much sadness. Oh, I'm loneliness. I have depression. I have lots of problems. Somebody make something. He do, and don't think too much negative thinking towards you. You have precious, very precious thing. We have a Buddha nature. That's why I say again, Shakyamuni Buddha and us has no different in slightly different. There's no different. So keep happy and cultivate bodhicitta, loving kindness. Cultivate more cause of good karmas. Now some has lots of obstacles, but the obstacles cannot challenge because of power of their merits. So learning from others. So it's like a one nectar in different cups, or one tea in different cups. Shakyamuni Buddha has one body, and we have a body. He has 5 aggregates, we have 5 aggregates. But inside of the nectar or inside of the tea are same. Then within the what is that? Okay. Demand like the non-resist, demand like composed within the perpetrator, that's the stage or path of cultivation. Since this particular meditative observation is unimpeded, this is very important. Unimpeded. Unimpeded means no obstacles. There is obstacles, but these obstacles are not obstacles. So this is important, yeah. In our daily, the psychologically, we try to. Some are obstacles. We identify this as obstacles, but we transform them into the good ways. Good ways. Then they are not obstacles. They are not very. This is 100% obstacles. We cannot say. We cannot say, yeah. Then durable is lasting, durable, very strong, stable, unshakable, movable, of a single test. But the later it explain more. And pervasive, it is called the diamond-like. The quality of diamond is like that. So it is unpadded because no worldly activity can be a cause which might unsettle it or shake up. Yeah, unshake up or something. Shake up. It is durable because none of the obscurations can damage it. It is stable because no thought can trouble it. It is of a single taste because it has one flavor. One flavor. One person say very strong harsh words here. Here says lots of praises, good things. Both become one taste. Both become cause of joy. So that's the way. Real demand is here. We pay money, pay very expensive. This outer object of a diamond is great. That also a great thing. But the inside the diamond is pearless. So you see, we understand. Everybody has. It doesn't matter physically what kind of situation. So everybody has this. It is pervasive because it is focused on the ultimate nature common to each and everything that is knowable. It's pervasive. This is the good sign. Right now, you think whatever, Amitabha Pure Land, your mind is there. You think Potala is this Rotala Pure Land is Genesis, there. Your mind is there. So our physical, this body is related to outer elements. So in this moment here, but in the mind is it's provided everywhere. More is provided more than the space. Uh, mm, um, subsequent means after, yeah, to the demand like meditative observation, there is the knowledge of cessation of generation. Generation. Cessation of generation. Do you understand? It's finished cause of negative karma, cause of suffering. This is the persistent awareness focused on the Four Noble Truths in terms of the exhaustion of all cause of suffering. There is also knowledge of non-arising, birthless means that, non-arising. This persisting awareness is also focused on the Four Noble Truths. But here, in terms of the resultant sufferings themselves having been eliminated. Eliminated means purified, yeah. In other words, persisting awareness related to the exhaustion of cause and the non-arising of results is the knowledge of the cessation and non-arising. In Tibet, it's ngokpa. 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 It sounds quite similar, but different spelling. Okay. Gopa means the onion. Onion. When I say gopa, you would heard onion. You know? So ngo means cessation. Stop. How to say? Ceased or cessation. And non-arising means birthless. Why are those referred to as the path of a complete accomplishment? Yeah, why? Because training has been completed, and it is the stage where the journey to the citadel. Citadel means strong fortress. Am I right? Oh yeah. Of enlightening mind has reached its end. Now we we reached on the what is say here? Strong fortress. Strong fortress is place. No joke. Is it place? It's not place, yeah. This is at that stage, there are 10 qualities of no more training. It's laziness, lethargic. People need kind of me. Oh, no more training. I need no more training. So that's where we try to reach on there. They are the 8 qualities of the eightfold path, namely right view, through to right meditation of no more training. Right view. This first right view, we already mentioned right view, and this right view are slightly different. First right view comes from little effort, but this right view is effortless. Plus, I think the okay, I read again. Cannot see it. Right view through to right meditation of no more training plus total liberation. Total liberation. Total liberation means there are different ways of liberations. Okay, these days some practitioners, you are first one has a very strong emotion that there are five, for example, 5 afflictive emotions. Step by step liberate. So we should see these qualities. It's really that means we can completely liberate. First, you are probably alcoholic. First, you were alcoholic, or you were utilized some poisonous drugs which are not related medicines. Medicines are okay, yeah, but then you released. you you liberate from there. So if you can liberate from alcohol, if you can liberate from these poisonous drugs, why not you can liberate from the afflictive emotions? So that's where you increased amazingly, really. It's amazing. You before you experienced something is become great experience. So right now you are become a great person, great practitioner. So you learning from them. For me, I did not drank alcohol before, did not utilize any single kind of poisonous drugs. So it's if I don't follow path of dharma, it's possible. What kind of this? Seems it's interesting. So forth. So I have a big misunderstanding. Yeah, but you already experienced. That's where. Oh, now it's you. That's where you can instantaneously quickly you can liberate completely. So that's where here completely liberate means in this case completely liberate means first, okay, the karma, they follow the law of karma. It's karma cause and effect. So don't do non-virtues, don't engage non-virtues, in the engage virtues. Yeah, and then practice four immeasurables and these four types of four pairs of meditative concentration and so forth. And then eventually what happens, the small fixations on nirvana is this, whether they don't have perception of nirvana is good, but just nirvana is this is a nirvana, that's perception. But that completely liberate means they don't have this, they totally become like a empty space. But empty space means like that we think is feelingly is not so interesting, but they have great bliss and clarity, union, clarity and bliss. That's way what appears this mm, Nirmanakayas appear and Sambhogakayas appear from Dharmakaya, yeah? Because of the union of them. And then these 10 factors in which there is no more training to be performed from 5 uncontaminated aggregates. So uncontaminated aggregates means actually the right now this ordinary body aggregates, it occurs some problems. If elements are not balanced, then we got sick and so forth. But here, this word is important for us. This uncontaminated aggregates means without afflictive emotions. These 5 aggregates and five afflictive emotions are not related. But 5 wisdoms and these 5 aggregates are related. So at that time, whatever we act through this body is a cause of happiness. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood of no more training constitute the moral discipline. Aggregate, right mindfulness, and right meditation of no more training constitute the meditative observation aggregate. Right view, right thinking, and right effort of no more training constitute the wisdom aggregates. Total utter liberation of no more training constitute the total liberation aggregates. So again, the total liberation. So, but I just give you example that I say I did not experience alcohol and the poisonous drugs. So if you did not experience before, don't do. If you become familiar, it's so difficult to liberate from there. So if you ask some who has experience, it's how difficult. So that's where think more means be mindful. But some who engaged, I mean, and after they liberated from there, these are the very admire object. Then yeah, this is the no more training constitute the total liberation aggregates, and red pristine awareness of the no more training constitute the aggregates of seeing the pristine awareness of total liberation. Total liberation. This concludes the 18th chapter concerning the presentation of the path in this ornament of precious liberation, a wish fulfilling gem of sublime dharma. Okay, so path, 5 paths we did, and then 10 bhumis or 10 levels. Here I used 10 levels. The presentation of the levels. Do these 5 paths have various levels? Yes, the synopsis is the levels are 13 the beginner's level. Actually, this and path of accumulations are the same. Same means that in this case, they count this. The level of practice through aspiration is path of application. Then the 10 bodhisattvas levels and the levels of Buddhahood. With respect to those levels named for the path of awakening states, the joyous and so on are attained. Okay, but these are very clearly explained the letter here. So here the joyous is the name of the first bodhisattva level, and the words and so on include the 2 levels below it and the 10 above it. So 13, in this 13 we count 13 at that time. 2 include the 2 levels below, means path of accumulation, path of application, these 2, and then below it and the 10 above it. Yeah, so 13. The first point concerns the beginner's level. This appeals to the stage when the person is on the path of accumulation. It is so called because it brings that which is immature to maturity. Immature means it's like a dry leather. If we knock, it's just sound comes. We cannot use anything. So that's where them mature means let them cultivate marriage, cultivate the 10 virtues and practice, and their mind is very. They become very good container to pull the nectar of milks. So that's where maturity means that. Right now, you are the maturity, because you heard the Dharma name, even heard the Bodhicitta, you love to practice it. Yeah, you are not hit at it. So the kindness of a guru, and you're married, you become great. You already became great. So now you are going to increase, developed, progressive. Okay. The second point concerns the level of practice by means of aspiration. This is a path of application part. This corresponds to the period of the path of application. It is so called because its activity aspires singly to the meaning of emptiness. So aspired, so the feeling I'm willing to understand the emptiness. So that then number 1, during this phase, the following are crushed, so as never to reoccur. So following what? The factors incompatible with the perfection, avarice, and so forth. Avarice means greed. If we are engaged in greed, then next life is a hungry ghost. We rebirth in hungry ghost realms. Before we there, but we always dissatisfied and so forth. Yeah. Number 2, affliction that will be eliminated. Eliminated means purified or conquered through the path of seeing. And number 3, the conceptual projections of the cognitive obscuration. Cognitive obscuration means this is not a very subtle obscuration, but this is obscuration. This obscures, it obscures the knowledge of the truth. I mean, knowledge of truth means to realization of truth. So the third point concerns the 10 bodhisattvas level. These are the level from the joyous through to the cloud of dharma. Now this first 2 are done. I explained. Then start to the 10 bhumis. Okay, 10 bodhisattvas levels. These levels are from joyous through to the cloud of dharma. The 10 levels Sutara says, "O child of good family." So Buddha called them, his disciples, bodhisattvas. "Oh, child of good family" means, do you understand? Because you have potential to attain 10th bhumi. So you have capacity to understand the 10th bhumi's realization. Not only 10th, this from 1 to 10th bhumi's realizations. That's where it's called that. In other case, also he called through his bodhicitta, loving kindness. Buddha doesn't call, "Hey, crazy person." So Buddha always call family child. So the hard sons, hard daughters. Yeah. These 10 are the bodhisattvas level, the bodhisattvas level of the joyous. So bodhisattvas, you don't pointing out, okay? Some bodhisattvas, somewhere start to looking in different directions. This is a little incorrect. So where should you look? You are going to look inside. In this case, bodhisattva means you. Before you become Buddhist, you have one name. After you become Buddhist, you receive refugee name. At that time, when we receive some teachings, after we mimic or repeat, then we utilize our spiritual names. Yeah, sometimes, especially in the Vajrayana practice, during the empowerment, we have some names. Okay, then the joyous. The first of the 10 levels corresponds to the path of seeing, in which emptiness is directly realized. So path of seeing and first bhumi, it's same. Same means it's a combined corresponds. Emptiness is directly realized. The second through the 10th level are the path of cultivation. It's called a Gonlam, path of meditation. Here use the cultivation. It's the same like path of meditation. Why do we call path of meditation? Because it meditate mundane meditation and then super mundane meditations. Yeah. During these insight into the suchness realization, during the first level is cultivated. So let us know that sometimes we are very looked down that mindfulness. The mindfulness is a very lower practice. I need Mahamudara, Zupa Chimbo. That is actually very good. Very good. Okay, you're doing good. You're thinking good. But in this case means the important thing that you don't reject. You meditate mindfulness for 5 minutes. Please keep it continually. You meditate for 5 minutes. This meditation progress, increases, develops, and eventually it become pristine awareness. Or this here the join the path. It says what? The red pristine awareness of no more returning constitute, or this say, no more returning constitute the total liberation, something like that. Then these 10 bodhisattva levels should be understood both in general and specifically. So it tells more details. First, the general points concerning the 10 bodhisattvas levels are three. One, their nature. Two, their etymology of level. Etymology means the meaning of words. And three, the reason for a tenfold division. Okay. As for the nature of the levels, they consist of the relevance with relation, presence, presence in the continuum of the mind of both the wisdom directly realizing the absence of self-entity in phenomena and the accompanying meditative observation that naturals nurtures it. Okay, so self-entity, absence of self-entity, and self-entity. Self-entity in phenomena. Self-entity of phenomena means object and subject. Or this is that we perceive through dualistic perception. It's called self-entity of phenomena. Self-grasping means I, my. These are self-grasping, yeah. So absence means without these entities. So the concerning their etymology, the meaning of words, they are called levels or grounds. The different names. Ground levels means actually it's explained very well, but it's step by step in like letters. If we go up the root of house, we use a letter, and then it's step by step we go up there. Level means that. And then also ground. Grounds means like this ground, earth, because the earth is the foundation of amazing things. Medicine, herbal medicine, like medicine plants. The smoke offering practices junipers, and then sandalwood, and then the rivers. Without water, this person cannot alive. So waters and beautiful flowers in front of eyes. So there's also fragrances, nose, and smooth, gentle, these touching things. So anyhow, this earth, we are so grateful for this earth. So the earth has amazing qualities. Without earth, we can fall, because this earth is in the space. We are on this space, so on the earth. That's where bhumi or level means this the foundation of all the qualities. Through this way, it called the grounds. But later it says more clear than this. And then because they each serves as a base for all the qualities associated with them as well as with the states they represent. Furthermore, each one serves as the foundation that gives rise to the subsequent level. The following are analogies for the etymology of term level, Analogies means example, yeah, kind of similar things. It is called the level or ground because all higher qualities recit means stay, or how to say, recit means recit within that pristine awareness, and partake is utilized, yeah, uh, in it, just as, for example, all the cattle recit within and use the cattle yard. Also, it is called the level or ground because all higher qualities traverse that pristine awareness, just as a horse run on the running trucks. Lastly, they are like fields. Fields, since they are the foundation on which grow all the qualities proper to pristine awareness. If we plant crops or some seed of rice, if we plant rice on a stone, it cannot grow. How many times we water it, it will not grow. But if we plant the seed of rice in some nice place, then you apply some dirt or something, it will grow. Likewise, bhumi or level are like this. So we the reason for our tenfold division. Yeah, why we have a question? Yeah, why the reason for our tenfold division is their specific particularities of complete nurturing. It purifies and the obscurations, and give rise the realizations from lower part and step by step increase. So nurturing, it's like fruits. Second, the specific points about each bodhisattva level will be present through non-particularity of each level. 1, name, etymology. 2, etymology. 3, taraf, through taraf, training, kind of thoroughly trained, something like that, taraf training. 4, practice. 5, purity. 6, realization. 7, thing abandon. 8, state of birth, and non-ability. So it's very clear. It's talk. Each and every bhumi is like through non-specific points. Then if we still don't know bhumis, then we are going to more practice. The first bodhisattva level. Now we begin first. Its specific name is the joyous. Its specific etymology, the meaning of words, those who have achieved this level feel immense very immense in joy. Why? Because enlightenment is close at hand, and benefits for thinking beings is now really being accomplished. How amazing. Hence, its names the joy. Thus, it is said in Ornament of Mahayana Sutra, on seeing the enlightenment is close, and that the good of beings is accomplished. The most supreme joy will arise. For that reason, it is called the joyous. First bhumi's name is, or level's name is joyous. Why? Benefit others. They have opportunity to benefit others directly. They have more powers. And then they are very close to attain Buddhahood. So there are many reasons, yeah. The specific thorough training, this level is achieved through mastery of 10 qualities, such as having intentions that are never deceitful, no matter what domain of action or thought that Bodhisattva is engaged in. Thus, the ornament of clear realization says, through the 10 aspects of thorough trainings, the first level will be attained. Okay. So this so what are these 10? How they use it? 10 qualities. The first woman, 10 qualities. Number 1, avoid fitting oneself. Why do they avoid benefiting oneself? Because they see their favorite things not benefit for themselves. Their favorite things benefit for others. Number 2, always thinking benefiting others. Always. There's some reason, always. Not sometimes. Not only during some particularly practice Buddhist chitta. Always. Even in whole daytime they're benefiting, thinking others, benefiting others. In the dream still they're benefiting others. Always holding all beings as equal. Equal means, oh, this is my family, this is not my family. So I do more my family, I don't do my non-family. Not like that. Or some he did me good things, so I will do more, and some didn't. So not like that. Benefiting others through giving wealth. So how much? There are some Bodhisattvas story, they give their eyes, and then some give hearts and so forth. Yeah. Of course, other material things. Also, the give material things is wonderful. We don't look down. Oh, material things are easy to give. Not like that. Always bring oneself. Oneself as how much one can give. Even not give. Somebody say, please borrow for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's so difficult, but some greatly generous. It's really, really amazing. Then number 5, benefiting others through Dharma teaching. Then number 6, following spiritual master. They don't have self-pride. Oh, I learned Dharma for some years or something, so I don't want to listen. Not like that. How many times listening has more beneficial. Then number 7, practicing Dharma. So we think, oh, we are practicing what they are do special. Their Dharma practicing means through emptiness. Through emptiness, practice Dharma as a special beneficial, but not easy, yeah, because different thoughts interrupt. Then renunciation, renounce about samsara. Number 8. Then number 9 is always speaking truth. Speaking the truth. And then number 10, always respecting the Buddha. Yeah, it's number 10 is always respect and admiring him. Probably this. Okay, that's the 10 admired 10 qualities of this first Bhumi who reach. They have this amazing what to say, qualities. And yeah, I explained through the book and you listen, but the principal thing is we are going to understand we have this. So sometimes we are in the samsara, number 1. Number 2, we are in the human society. So there are many kind of problems, obstacles, those occurs through outside, inside, different situations. At that time, you should love your personal awareness. You should love Buddha nature, and don't misunderstand that. Oh, it's better to suicide. Oh, it's better to stop practice dharma. Yeah, if you don't exactly follow this Buddha dharma system, but you don't stop to generate compassion, loving kindness. This is the main dharma, principle dharma. So if you love your Buddha nature, you give value to your Buddha nature, and then you that's the first when you heard that it's you have no more kind of that feeling. Honestly, it's like first you experience a new food, then it's quite hard, but then step by step you do it, then it's familiar. And so likewise this you should love your Buddha nature, respect your Buddha nature, keep your Buddha nature. Keep your Buddha nature means keep Buddha nature through loving kindness and compassion. So you do that, then the benefit is it's avoid temporary obstacles. Mm. So that's where you will not engage very big um, wrong decision. So that's where for benefiting others and ourselves, we always try to be like a flower. Everybody see flower. Most people love it, naturally love. So it has some. So then the real flower is inside of our mind. Okay. Now let us dedicate. Janjo Zenjo Rinpoche Ma Je Ba Na Je Jur Je Je Ba Nyam Bar Me Bar Yang Gong Ne Gong De Be War Shuo.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has risen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you so much. Physically, may you have a healthy body, and mentally, may you have a bodhicitta, and may you it increase higher and higher. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please join us again next Sunday, March 12 at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for Aryatara Janchok for the Liban. Thank you. See you then.